Yo, what's up? What's up? It's the Hungry Millennial back again with yet another Proactive Pragmatism. So, on this Proactive Pragmatism, I want to talk to you about the value proposition. So, a value proposition is a value or promise to be delivered, communicated, and acknowledged. And so, in sales, we had, a value proposition. We were going to add value for a certain amount of dollars, or you came up with a certain plan. I had a brief career in sales. Not really my cup of tea, but you have to realize that you're a salesman, whether you realize it or not. You're selling a brand, you're selling yourself, you're selling hope to, the hopeless at times. There is always somebody watching you, seeing how you navigate the world and how you overcome the triumphs and the issues that you have in your life. And so, some things when you look at the value proposition, first you want to add value. Then you want to assess your worth. Then you want to add more value. And then you want to keep evolving. Because what we're trying to avoid is the Toys R Us and the blockbuster mentality. So when you're adding value, value will come back to you. But if you're searching for the dollar, you're looking at a fast burn versus a slow burn. Something that could potentially feed you for you and your family in generations, right? If you do it the right way. If you're coming at it from the right place, from the heart, from your being, you're really passionate about what you do, and they don't have to give you a dollar for what you do because you understand the value proposition, what you're communicating. And when you come from the right place, things will start to fall in line. The problem is you have a lot of people chasing $1 million. They're chasing the Jeff Bezoses. They are chasing the Oprahs. They are chasing all these people, but they don't love what they do. They're just doing it for the dollar. The problem is when you get fast dollars come out because people don't value free. And most people don't value free. It's like, if I remember as a boy, like my pops was like, you know what? If you get, you have a good week and you don't get a bunch of marks, you know what I'm saying? And, or you get some stars or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was back then. They have different metrics for kids, stickers, whatever. But and a lot of times I was a knucklehead. So it came down to him not getting a phone call about me acting up in class. Right. So if that didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? Then I would get to go to the movie store to check out something. Shout out to Snooks. Back in the day, they had the videos. That was the cheapest way. We didn't have much bread. So, I go check out $1 movie, couple of them. Got to see my Ninja Turtles, all that, But it was one of those things where I was inherently adding value to myself without realizing that I was adding value. Because not only was, would I get the movie, but I was working on my character. I got to figure out who I wanted to be, start taking some responsibility for my own path. But I didn't know that that's what he was, communicating to me and what he was teaching me. But it was really adding value, and, shout out to my pops because he held it down, right? Those little incentives, they can intertwine with you. And as adults, we have to put incentives in our way. Maybe if we eat healthy this week, we get that slice of pie that we wanted. And it's going to feel so much better because, it's honestly, I can say this, it's not the goal. It's the process of meeting that goal that makes the goal worth it because you put in that work. If we just got everything that we wanted, there'd be no value added. There'd be no empathy along the process. There'd be no, realistic understanding of life, right? Because what I found, and I hope you find this as well, that when you struggle, you have something to compare, hard times to. Perspective drives performance every day of the week. And when we start looking at it from that standpoint, we grow. And others grow around us because they're like, they come in and they're like, why are you smiling? Or why are you not upset about how many boxes you got at the warehouse? Or why are you not tripping because somebody canceled on you for a podcast interview? Or somebody's brand and your brand just didn't work out, so you had to pass. Like, why aren't you going to hold a grudge because, somebody slighted you? And, a lot of times I annotated to like, a lot of times I would go to, I didn't come from the greatest background, but I would go to friends just to have a meal to eat sometimes, just to have something quality, just so I didn't have to argue over, some popcorn or something like that. Shout out to the Masonic Children's Home in Murfreesboro, Illinois, and the Baptist Children's Home, in Carmi, Illinois. Even though we were in a strict environment, like, I got something to eat. I got to have a good day, if I could make that day. And so, this also comes down to business or something like a goal that you have, right? So you want to add value, right, to others along trying to achieve that goal. Like, hey, maybe you can, create like a coalition or something, or partner, or like uplift them and they uplift you, and you run back in tandem, right? And then you want to assess your worth. Like, are you really bringing value to the table? Because a lot of times we can perceive that we have a product that somebody wants, but if there's no demand for their product, you really have a worthless product. Now, you might have to fine tune it for a few years, or you might have to fine tune your craft and gain more skills, right? Because years ago, I thought like graphics, graphic design, I thought I was tight, but there was so much that I didn't know. There was so much that I needed to learn. In the military, when you start off, I remember being a private. Back then, I thought I was, I was on, and then I joined ROTC. It's like, it shook you up because you were enlisted, you went through basic training, and you got these guys ordering you around that don't understand basic Army concepts, but their level of understanding was planning. I knew nothing about planning back then. I was just a knuckleheaded, specialist, that was just, banging my head up against the wall. But once I started to conform, I started to learn a little bit more about planning. And then, you become a first lieutenant, or a second lieutenant, and then a first lieutenant. And then, you make it up to captain. You're like, wow, these were the things that I thought that I wanted, but I didn't understand until I had to go through the turbulence that life inherently sends at you. So that's when you assess your worth. And then you add more value. Like, hey, can I do more? At this level in life, I'm like, you know what? My troops don't work for me. The soldiers that are underneath my care, I work for them. As a manager, as a general manager with Jimmy John's, my employees didn't work for me. I work for them to take care of them, to make sure they straight. Oh, you got enough hours. Okay, well, you ain't doing what you need to do. So we need to have a conversation. We need to face this dragon of, you're not doing what you need to do for me to accept giving you more hours. Can you come to work and produce? Because that's how the real world works. And a lot of times you don't realize it and they don't realize it, but you're helping them look forward to all the opportunities they can potentially have by having hard conversations. And you got to have those hard conversations with yourself, because you want to make sure that you're delivering and communicating on that promise and that value that you promised yourself that you were going to add, those changes that you were going to make. So, we want to avoid being shut down. We want to avoid shutting ourselves down, because life is going to inherently close doors on us. But if we impose a little extra self-discipline on ourselves, we can go way farther than we ever imagined. So, this is Hungry Millennial, back again with yet another Proactive Pragmatism. I appreciate you guys. Go check out my homie's brand, Cave or Conquer. She's got some awesome stuff coming on the website that she has. She also vlogs on there. Shout out to Robbie Jinx for the t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? And caveorconquer.com. Also, if you have any questions or any topics you want us to cover on the podcast, you can reach us at PROPRAG20@gmail.com. I appreciate you. Thank you.